July 16th, 2020, Town Council Centerville meeting. First, we'll stand for a Pledge of Allegiance and also continue to remain standing for a moment of silence for military and public safety personnel, past and present.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Next up is a review of past meeting minutes, June 11th, 2020.
I don't have any changes. Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have our first round of citizens forum. I don't know whether,
Well, I did not receive any comments.
no comments, okay. Appearances, board and commission appointment.
I'd like to make a motion that Nancy Weibel be appointed for the remainder of a 3-year term for the Board of Supervisors of Elections expiring in February 2021.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I guess we're going to go ahead and swear her in now. And
Yep. I'm going to stay up here just for the social distancing thing if you want to go down and swear her in.
okay, that's fine.
Nancy, thank you for being willing to serve.
You can just come right up to the table by the mic here.
You have a copy?
Yeah. Okay. You ready? Actually, I think you have the same thing there, right? So she can read off that if she needs to.
She can read off that if she wants to, too.
Okay. All right, if you please raise your right hand, say aye, pronounce your name in full, and repeat after me.
I, Nancy Weibel,
Do solemnly affirm that I will support
do solemnly affirm that I will support the
the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office of member of the Town of Centerville Board of Supervisors of Elections,
execute the office of member of the Town of Centerville Board of Supervisors of Elections,
completing a 3-year term,
completing a 3-year term,
expiring February 2021,
expiring February 2021,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
according to the Constitution and laws of this state,
the Town Charter,
the Town Charter,
and laws and ordinances of the Town of Centerville.
and laws and ordinances of the Town of Centerville.
Thank you. Actually, you're doing what-
Can you? Yes.
Yeah, you do have to sign there.
Thank you.
Nancy, do you want to say anything to the public? And
I'll do my best.
okay, so I would just like to say that you're coming in. You got some big shoes to fill, right? This seat was vacated by Mr. Bob Norris, who has been on the Board of Supervisors of Elections for as long as I can remember, at least maybe 10 years, 12 years. And prior to that, he was a planning commissioner. I mean,
He's been with the town for 30 years.
he is Mr.
as a
Centerville,
volunteer.
and you will do just fine. But he was a great guy, and he really did a fantastic job here for the town of Centerville. And this is a very, very important election. All elections are important, right? But we're going to be electing four council members this time, and so if you have any volunteers that want to help you, we can certainly use help with the polls. So thank you very much.
I just want to thank you for stepping up. It's important that the citizens get involved, and this is a way that you guys can help out, so congratulations.
One other thing I wanted to talk about on the board and commission appointments, we've got 10 reappointments that need to get their oaths done. And I just wanted to volunteer myself. If you're not available, we've got some meetings that are coming up. I just wanted to, if it's okay with you, that I could do the oath of office on these people.
That's fine. If you want to, can you reach out to them and see which ones can make it? And if they can't, we can do it here in a limited basis.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay, next up is old business, ordinance 07-2020, land sale parcel 1, second reading, and I will turn it over to Sharon Van Emberg.
So, in the past, for this particular issue, Mr. Morgan, you have not participated because it involves Queen Anne's County, which is your employer, and that was determined to be a conflict of interest. However, the ethics ordinance that the town has does allow for your participation if the disqualification would leave less than a quorum in order to participate. In this case, we are currently down to 2 council members, so this ordinance would not be able to move forward unless you were able to participate. I will also note that this is, at this point, pretty much a formality. This has been going on well over a year, and so the 2 other members have previously been able to participate in the negotiations. There's authorized the contract to be executed, authorized the town manager to execute that. So at this point, this is just really the final step to memorialize and authorize that transfer that's been in the works now for quite some time. So the ethics ordinance does allow you to participate because otherwise the town would not be able to act.
Okay. I'm just going to read the top part. Town Council of Centerville, ordinance number 07-2020. An ordinance for the purpose of authorizing the conveyance by way of special warranty deed of a parcel of property identified on Queen Anne's County Tax Map 044C, Grid 0016, Parcel 0501I, consisting of 6.413 acres and located in the 3rd Election District, and all matters related thereto. I'll make a motion that we approve this ordinance as presented.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next up is ordinance 08-2020, election provisions, second reading.
Let me do the top part.
Sure.
Town Council of Centerville, ordinance number 08-2020, an ordinance for the purpose of providing for election terms not otherwise provided for in the charter for the town of Centerville and all matters related thereto.
I guess if we get Sharon, just do a little background on this one, just so the public.
Sure. So when Mr. Shantz resigned, it created a little bit of an interesting scenario for the upcoming election that had not been addressed in the provisions that already exist regarding elections. So there is authority in the charter that the town council can adopt an ordinance to address issues that have not been previously addressed. So what this ordinance will do allows for, it basically provides for how that 4th seat will be filled, because there's now 2 3-year terms and 2 2-year terms that need to be filled in this election. So this is to allow for that and to provide for that.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 08-2020 as presented.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next up is new business, drug and alcohol policy.
Good evening. Let's see here. So on January 4th, 1996, the town adopted resolution number 209, which provided that the town will follow the Queen Anne's County policy for pre-employment, random drug testing, post-accident testing for DOT, non-DOT, and safety-sensitive employees, and alcohol testing where there is reasonable suspicion to support it. During the November 26, 2019 Town Council meeting, it was recommended the town created drug and alcohol policy to meet the town's needs instead of following Queen Anne's County testing policy regarding this topic. Included with this memo are the following town policies for council's review and recommendation. We have the drug and alcohol policy for DOT employees, policy number 300-101, and drug and alcohol policy for non-DOT employees, policy number 300-102. Both policies were vetted through Legit's employment attorney and our town attorney. During the last town council meeting, the DOT policy was presented. However, we had not completed the non-DOT policy, so it was just recommended to have both at the same time for review and recommendation.
This is very thorough. I think it looks good.
Is this something that we need to leave open for any kind of public comment, or
I'm sorry.
is it something that we should leave open for any kind of public comment, or?
It's not required. You certainly can if you choose to, but
I would recommend that we leave it open until the next meeting and then we move forward. Leave it open for public
Okay.
comment. Just let the public look at it and see if they have any. Okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. put it on the agenda for next meeting.
And Sharon, this doesn't have to be passed by a resolution?
It does not, although the previous one was done by resolution, correct? So it probably makes sense to go ahead and do a resolution for this one as well, since you're changing a previous resolution.
So we'll add it next meeting then? Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is the Main Street Encumbrance.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
Okay, so the first part of this is back in March. On my behalf, Carolyn had presented a request on taking a portion of the Barks Giving money that wasn't used to be able for us to support our businesses. And, you know, we really didn't think it was going to linger as long as it has. So majority of our businesses went back a few weeks ago. So that money is still there, and we didn't get that many Barks Giving vouchers back, so the balance is actually $2,500 and some change there. Originally, I'd asked for $1,995 to be set aside for supporting our businesses, and I'm coming to you tonight to request the current balance. And what I'd like to be able to do is to encourage our businesses to advertise. It's really important during a crisis that they advertise, but of course they've lost so much money in those couple months. So what I'd like to do is to kind of set aside that money to basically provide grants for our businesses to advertise in a circular and be able to give them a discount, acknowledging that they've lost some money, but we would like to still support them. So you would need to be able to take that money over from the last fiscal year. So I was hoping that we could do that.
All right, so what you're saying is there's $2,500 approximately that's still in Barks Giving cash that you
Correct.
still have? Or those, that's outstanding and you're waiting for it to come in?
No.
No, it's what's the balance.
The
balance.
well, when the council approved 5,000 for the
Yep.
Barks Giving event, we have the 25 left over. We had a couple, we still had some outstanding, I guess, Barks Giving. So that's why when Carol asked to use part of that to help during COVID, she set aside about 500 for any straggling Barks Giving dollars that would be coming in. So the 1990 or the 2514 is part of that original 5,000 that was
Allocated.
approved, allocated for Barks Giving, and then allocated for COVID. And
All right, so how much are you actually looking to encumber? The 1995 plus 520?
No,
2514.
2514.45. And is that going to be available for some Centerville dollars, Barks Giving dollars, or it's all going to go to the advertising?
I'd like to give it to them for advertising.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Okay.
All right, do we need a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum's request to encumber funds by Carol D'Agostino, Main Street Manager, dated July 8th, 2020.
Thank you very much.
And Carol
All in
did
favor?
talk to Karen, our finance officer, about this too.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Thank you. I'm also hoping to get some answers on a grant. I put in a grant that would provide some additional support for our businesses. So hopefully we'll hear about that at the end of next week. So, okay, so on to events, and I'm just going to pass this out because it'll make a lot more sense.
All right, so I guess we're going to the next item, correct?
Yeah.
The Drink Maryland Centerville event.
Thank you.
This is kind of the hierarchy of how the CDC rates the risk level of events. So I believe I emailed email I had explained to me that I would be having a conversation with the Queen Anne's County Health Department as well as emergency services and some folks from the Sheriff's Department and our Police Department to talk about the Drink Maryland event, because basically when the governor pulled the 10 maximum person gathering, it wasn't replaced by anything. So what we were doing is taking a look at the event, the logistics, the footprint, and we looked it over as a group. And the group asked questions, but basically what the process came down to was look at the footprint, decide what you want to put in the footprint, and then the available space left, you would divide by 36 square feet to define how many people could be on that footprint at one time. And of course, this is a free event that people can buy a tasting pass. So that really required us to think about charging everyone so that we would know how many people were on site at one time. So we looked at it. The next day I was to talk to the event co-partner, but as we were talking staff-wise in the office, everything was about removing stuff from this event that was so well received, managed well, and safety was the first thing I've always talked about when talking about this event. It became very obvious that, we could deliver a plan on paper that would quantify a safe event. But once the people are there, there was really no way for us to enforce the masks on, people congregating, and the fact that this event draws people from other areas, and that our resources were going to be pretty stretched, both people and money. So I'm coming before you tonight to say, let's not do it this year. We can put it on the calendar for next year and see how everything goes, because the event partner totally understood. They know exactly where we're coming from, and we really don't want to take a branded event that's so well received, present a watered down version, and then not know whether we can keep our guests safe once they're there.
Yep, I'm in agreement with that.
So the date you chose for next year, is that in line with what we've been doing
Yes.
roughly?
Yep, the Saturday before Father's Day.
Okay.
And they were totally good with that. And we're actually talking about possibly thinking about working another similar event, but maybe with the farmer's market with them this year, doing sort of a drive-through. So I'll keep you posted on that. Now that'll swing us into Centerville Day, which is still on the calendar for October 24th. Now, although the Drink Maryland event is somewhere between the higher risk and highest risk on the CDC, because we're talking about large numbers of people from other areas. Now, Centerville Day, because it mostly draws locals, would be, I would think, closer to this second group, where we can ensure a little bit more safety. They're from the local area. We don't have to worry about they could be coming from areas where there's a higher rate of infection. And we can control our footprint. But what I'd like to ask, in order for us to plan for even more social distancing, is if we could close down Broadway. That'll allow us to space things out more, and we have a better opportunity to developing a plan where we are going to keep our guests safe.
Okay. I mean, there's always the risk that we may have to cancel it at some point, but I'd like to see if we can plan for it
Right.
to happen, and then if we have to make adjustments, we can.
And the other things that I would add is, because part of the equation on how safe it is the duration. I'd like to suggest that we take an hour off the term. Right now it's 11 to 3, whether we take it off from the beginning or the end, but we shorten it a little bit. Also put within the plan, perhaps 4 weeks before, we're checking the metrics for the virus, and if we see anything that causes concern, we cancel.
Yep, okay.
Very good. So I'll get the group together. I've always also reached out to Daniel Meeks, who is our central gaming business owner, about coming up with some really nice social distancing games. If you Google it, you get all kinds of cool stuff. So we might be able to add some stuff to the event that we didn't have before.
That's
and I
great.
think the additional space will help us.
And the courthouse will be painted by then too. They're in the process of doing that now.
That's right. That's right.
All right, so in terms of the Drink Maryland, since it is official now, we need to cancel it. So I'm going to make a motion that we cancel 2020 Drink Maryland and reschedule for June 19th, 2021.
I'll second that.
Thank
All
you.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That way you can make plans and it's an official thing.
Very good. And what I'll do is I'll make that announcement and then give an acknowledgement to all our sponsors from last year too. So that'll give them an extra plug. The only other things that I wanted to mention is Main Street has acquired free donations of 500 face masks and 250 face shields. And I'm in the process of handing those out to our businesses. I put the priority on the restaurants and the salons, those types of businesses that are working really directly with their clients. And then I'm going to open it up to the rest of our businesses and continue to look for more access. And it's something that's small, but it's important, and it's saving them a little bit of money.
That's great.
And before I leave, I also wanted to ask, I'm asking an awful lot tonight. Anyway, I wanted to ask if temporary signage is a huge thing right now. Businesses are putting signage regarding the face mask and what the requirements are. So there's extra signs around, but they really need it. So I wanted to ask some little leniency on the temporary signs, because typically they're not allowed to be up for a long period of time. I wanted to ask if we can be a little bit lenient for temporary signage to the end of the year, see where we are. I mean, we obviously want appearance of our town to be, very pleasant, but right now they're struggling,
So are we talking, buy a hamburger temporary sign, or are we talking wear a mask sign?
I'm thinking more of the mask signs, but for instance, like Coliseum Pizza, they've decided not to go ahead and open up inside. So for them, their signage is really about that we're doing curbside delivery. So it could alter a little bit for each business, but it sure would help them.
So maybe if it's the kind of thing where temporary signs related to the modification of business practices due to COVID, right? I think that's something we can certainly be lenient on. But if it's just, hey, we want to put another sign out to,
No, I agree.
yeah, so I'm totally okay with that.
I agree.
Yeah. Do you need you don't need a formal motion on that?
Don't need one.
Do you want
As
one?
long as there's consensus, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank
Just do it
you.
on a case-by-case basis, and if it's related to COVID, then I think
And if it gets out of control, then we'll revisit it. So not that this is necessarily related to you, but we do have, in terms of events coming up, we do have at the end of August, maybe it's September, the fishing derby, annual fishing derby, and the movie night. I spoke with volunteers over at the Corsica River Conservancy. As you know, they've canceled their event this year. We are going to cancel the fishing derby. It's too difficult to maintain social distancing with, all that. But I am, at this point, want to keep the movie night. It's a pretty big area down there. We've never had problems with people being too close to each other. So, as it stands now, we're going to keep the movie night. It's all the same night, right? If for some reason the weather changes, we're not going to do it inside. So if it's nice, we'll do it. If it's not nice, we're not going to do it.
So when's the last date that you need to be able to cancel Centerville Day if we have to?
My suggestion is to do it a month before, because that'll give us enough time that we can get the announcements out.
So if we look at it at the first meeting in September, we should be good if we were to cancel it, which is the
Third.
of September. That would be enough, right?
I think so.
Okay, can we add that to the agenda for the 3rd, just to review that and see if it's...
The outdoor movie night is, as of now, it's scheduled for August 29th. It's a Saturday, and that'll be at the Wharf.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is the Centerville Police Department generator encumbrance. Kip.
Good evening. As you recall, when the budget was struck for FY20, there was $47,500 budgeted for the installation of a new generator at the police station. By the time we got the ball rolling and everything, they had offered a 3-week delivery time. Then coronavirus hit, and that extended to 13 weeks and so on. So we're a little behind the 8 ball trying to get this thing. The generator has been delivered. The pad's been set and it's mounted. The only thing we've got left to do now is get the electrician in to upgrade the service and mount the automatic transfer switch and everything. So at this point, I'm asking that we encumber the remaining amount, which is $20,055.80, to encumber it into the FY21 budget so we can complete this project.
All right. I'm good. I make a motion that we approve staff's request that the remaining $20,055.80 be encumbered to FY 2021 to complete this project as submitted.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
So Karen knows about this then also?
Yes.
All right. Next up is correspondence.
Got a letter from MDE. Is there anything just about like advertisement?
Yeah, I think the letter from MDE is just an indication that the permit request will be in the newspaper July 17th and 24th. It's standard procedure when you're having renewal for your permit, wastewater discharge permit, that they have to go through that public process of seeing if anybody has any interest in requiring a special meeting.
Any other correspondence? Okay, next up is report of department heads, town manager.
Of course, the state highway paving project's complete. As far as the paving
Can you say that
part-
again, please? Can you just repeat that? Just repeat what you
I don't
just
know if I
said.
can do that. Yeah, the state highway paving is complete. Certainly in my travels, I've had many citizens talk about how well it went and that it very pleased with the finished product, and also that they do have some additional signage work to finish out the rest of that project. We've also been advised that David A. Bramble Incorporated Construction Company, they'll be taking care of the final paving and the punch list items in Phase 3 in Northbrook. They've indicated that they could start as soon as the next 2 to 3 weeks.
That's great.
So, other than that, just handling all the zoning matters that come up during the summertime.
All right,
That's it.
town attorney?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Kip, Public Works? Nothing. Crystal?
Just going through, we're in the middle of holding interviews for a water wastewater operator position.
Yeah, you got to go to the.
We are in the middle of interviewing the water wastewater operator position and working on the applications for utility worker. Applications have been coming in very well. So we've had 62 applicants for the water wastewater operator and 22 for the utility worker and 71 for the chief of police position. So we've gotten a lot of response for those announcements and keeps me busy. So that's what we've been working on. And when I say we, me, but in my department.
All right. Carolyn, town clerk.
The main thing that I have been working on here lately is we have 3 applications that were submitted to the state for the facade improvement program. So one was approved, and that was for awning on Oshucks and a screen for where the garage door type window is. So that's been approved, and they're going to get started on that. We also submitted for another property, and I've been going back and forth with the state, with Maryland Historical Trust about it, and some other kind of obstacles that are coming up. Another property on Water Street, it just went right out of my head. Bayshore Steam Pot. So they submitted an application to kind of really redo most of the frontage of their building. So we're having a little issue with windows and, what's it look like now and why do you want to replace it and that kind of thing. So there's been a lot of back and forth between myself and the Historical Trust. So that's been about it. We are working on revamping the homepage of the website, which actually went live the other day, and then we had to take it back down. The homepage was perfect. It was all the information behind the homepage got a little messed up. So we switched back to our old website, and they're working out the kinks. So the new homepage will be a lot easier to navigate throughout. So
How many candidates do we have filed for the fall election so
we
far?
currently have 5 candidates so far that has filed. And the cutoff is August 3rd, 4 o'clock is the cutoff to file. So
All right.
All right.
the Ethics Commission has reviewed all 5 of the candidates, and then we'll move on to we'll probably wait until after August 3rd for the Board of Supervisors to go ahead and just review everything. So.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Nope. Acting Chief.
Good evening, everyone.
Good to have you here.
I'm here to present the June statistic for the Centerville Police Department, which you should have received that in your packet. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Anything I really have is just update you guys on 2 of our cases that we've been working on. One of them is the armed robbery at the Eversmart. Just want to let you know we have identified the suspects. We're waiting on some items to come back from the lab before we actually file some charges. They're forthcoming. There was a domestic I told you about recently that a young woman was actually forced into the hospital. She was induced in a coma. She has come out of it. She's getting better every day, so we're looking to get some information from her exactly what happened. We do think it's domestic related, and we do have a suspect, of course, so there'll probably be some charges pending in that as soon as we get the medical information from the hospital. So that's where we stand right now. Everything else at the department, everything's good. We're anticipating our new chief, who we're going to find out who it is. Not that we, didn't want the old one to leave. We want him to stay. He was a great chief, and but yeah, with the department, there's some buzz going around trying to figure out, who's going to be the next chief, who's going to be the next chief. But we're doing good. Everything's going forward. So
Good.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Okay. I don't think we have any other department heads. All right. Another round of citizens forum. We don't have anything for that, so check that off. Council roundtable.
I have nothing.
You have what?
I got nothing
You want to
today.
say that again, too?
I got nothing today.
All right. I just wanted to reiterate that August 3rd is the last day to file for candidacy for the town council member, and I implore everybody that's interested to please put your application in. It's going to be interesting, especially with 4 seats available. That's unprecedented.
It's a race.
And then I think our next meeting has been changed. It was originally the 20th, right? And now it's going to be the 13th of August. So I think that's all I have. So I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All right.